Hello everyone, it's Al here from Exiles, and today I'm going to be profiling Atignista for you guys. Just a quick note, apologies for my last cubic deck profile. As you could tell, the extra deck monsters, I was only showing 2 at a time instead of 3 at a time, because I don't know where to place my cards in a video. But I am much more focused today, and hopefully I can make a better profile for you. Apologies also, I'm very bummed up at the moment. I've got a bit of a cold. You can make your coronavirus jokes in the comment section if you wish. But with all that said, let's go into the profile now. An important thing to know about Atignista is it is a going second deck. You can make plays going first, but the plays you make can easily be outed, and that's where your sort of side deck comes along. So I don't have a side deck to show you guys, but I really implore you, if you're being forced to go first at any point, or if you think you're going to be forced to go first at any point, you need to side in some really powerful trap cards, some really powerful disruption cards that you can use against your opponent going second, because this deck as it currently stands cannot pose a threat going first, at least until they have their Link 6 monster and their additional support cards coming in Eternity Code. Now, that being said, I highly recommend that you try this deck out, and it is incredibly fun once it gets rolling. So first and foremost, we're playing 3 Achichi. This is your monster searcher of the deck. On normal or special summon, it searches an Atignista monster. And when your monster battles, you can banish it from the graveyard to destroy your own monster. This is predominantly used to synergize with the effect of Fire Phoenix, which procs a destruction effect when destroyed itself. You play 3 of this, it's your rota. You also play 3 Picari. Picari searches spell and traps, and it can modulate the level of another Atignista monster you control to level 4 to help you go into your XYZ plays. And it searches the spell and Atignista spell and traps. You need to play 3 of this because this is ideally more important than Achichi, because it searches your field spell, and this deck kind of lives and breathes off its field spell. However, you can fix that weakness by building the deck to play cards that means you can do your combos without necessarily needing the field spell, which I'll explain to you in a minute. Triple Doyon, this is my favourite one because he's just a pink, purple squishy boy that just looks like he wants to have a bit of fun, and he does. On normal or special summon, he lets you recycle an Atignista monster from your graveyard back to your hand, and on used as link material, it lets you target an AI spell or trap in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. This is incredibly important for recycling your quick play spell, which can revive Atignista monsters during your opponent's turn to zones that your link monsters point to, which can be incredibly deadly using the topologic monsters. Triple Baru, again, probably in the top, one of the most important cards in the deck because it's a Foolish Burial. It helps you get your level 4 AI monsters into the graveyard. It's also your level 3 tuner, and if this guy is used as synchro material, you can bring back the Atignista monster other than itself back from the graveyard as when it's used as material. So you synchro off the Wind Pegasus and you bring back the level 4 that you used as material. So say you bring back Picari, and if you haven't used Picari's effect already, you can search another AI spell or trap and help you increase your plays furthermore. Now we're just playing these because they can special summon themselves 3 Hiyari. If you control an AI monster, you can summon it from your hand. You can do this as well with Doyon. We're not playing the fusion or ritual spells in this deck because they cut the consistency down like no man's business, and they don't really help you enhance your game plan. Double Balancer Lord, you sometimes really need an additional normal summon. Triple Balancer Lord. You sometimes really need that additional normal summon, and I was thinking of playing a copy of Goldsark in this deck, so you can use it to banish Balancer Lord from the graveyard to special summon a level 4 or lower Cyberse from your hand, which can come in majorly useful. But you can also banish Balancer Lord off of Cyberse Wicked, which we're also playing. Triple Archiver, it's a name that you can use to go into Dark Templar, and it's very important because it's a Cyberse level 3 you can use for update jammer plays and to just go into your additional combos. Double Debug, again, it's a searcher, but at the same time, if you don't have any other AI monsters in your hand or the field spell to combo off with it, it can be kind of a garnet. So yeah, you need to have a good mixture of AI and Cyberse searches in your deck to make your combos flow. But when they do flow, they're incredibly easy to pull off. and can win you games very easily. We're playing triple Ignista AI land, or I land if you want to call it that. This is the heart and soul of the deck, like I just said. It lets you special summon at Ignista monsters from your hand, one attribute each time, a different attribute each time. It doesn't let you special summon monsters from the extra deck other than Cyberse monsters after you use it, and it's very restrictive in that sense. However, you can banish another at Ignista monster in your graveyard to set this back from your graveyard. So once you have this out, you're always going to be able to access it. However, keeping your hand advantage up is another problem this deck suffers with. And the one terraforming to, search your stuff. Very important. Triple Idol Reborn. This card's just a monster reborn quick play for your Atignista monsters. It can bring back any Atignista monster from your graveyard, and it also has an additional effect that if it's in the graveyard, I keep forgetting its second effect, and many apologies. So if an attack's declared involving 2 monsters, you can banish it from your graveyard and 1 card from your hand, then target one of your AI spell or traps that is banished or in your graveyard, except Idol Reborn, and add that back to your hand. So it recycles the other AI spell or traps, but again, you're not going to really be using that effect a lot. You can use it to trigger Balancer Lord if you so desire, but again, this card also, it helps you trigger your Topologic Zeroboros. Double Desires helps you boost Zeroboros up to a ridiculous amount of money and gets you cards in your hand. Double Econ, you can cut this for any consistency boosting card if you want, but we're playing and going a second deck so you want to. Double Dark Ruler No More, this switches off all of your opponent's monster effects and can help you push through with Light Dragon. And the one Monster Reborn, I was considering playing 1-for-1 instead of this, but at the end of the day, it's not like you want monsters in your hand more than on your field most of the time, if that makes sense. So that was the main deck. Now, extra deck time. Okay, Alan, 1, 2, 3 zones here. 3 Lingaribo. The deck's very susceptible to infinite impermanence. And you want to get this card out before doing most of your stuff because it's incredibly important that you get your effects to go through. Which is why you could probably, instead of the Econs, play Called by the Grave, because the deck's susceptible to any kind of disruption. It is ridiculous. But once you get your combos going, you can OTK your opponent out the gate. So this guy can negate trap cards by tributing himself, and he can bring himself back from the graveyard by tributing a Cyberse or / Atignista monster that was summoned from the extra deck. Okay. Double Dark Templar, this is your combo, it lets you go through all your combos. If it destroys a monster by battle, it lets you bring a Cyberse back from your graveyard. And if a monster's normal or special summon to the zone it points to, you get to summon Atignista monsters from your graveyard to its zones, which is very nice indeed. The 1/5 Phoenix, you don't always see this card, but it can come handy in a pinch, especially if you're having trouble getting rid of some of your opponent's monsters and you have a cheat sheet in graveyard. Or if you just want to inflict that 2300 burn, enter the battlefield in time, have this on the field, inflict that burn damage, time's called, and you're good to go. This card can also bring itself back during the next standby phase after it's destroyed, so that's always a nice thing to have. Double Light Dragon, you can swap, you can run an additional one of this and swap a Lingaribo out if you want, but I personally think Lingaribo is a bit more important. Light Dragon is sort of like a mini Dingirsu. It can protect your monsters from card effects, destruction of card effects by detaching a material from it. And you can also detach a material from it to destroy monsters your opponent controls up to the number of Atignista monsters on your field. It also has another very important effect that can help you finish a game off when your when your Cyberse monster inflicts damage to your opponent. You can bring back a Cyberse Link monster in your graveyard. So the way it works is, say if you have a field of Dark Templar, Light Dragon and Wind Pegasus on the field, and you've got Lingaribo in the graveyard, you can attack with all 3 of them, which will mount to something like 6,000 odd damage, and but that's not going to be enough to finish off your opponent. So you have the Lingaribo in the grave. You're going to tribute the Dark Templar to bring the Lingaribo back, Inflict the damage with the Big-Al-YGO, and then Light Dragon will trigger, bringing the Dark Templar back that you just tributed, and then you can kill your opponent that way. It's a nice way to finish them off. Then the Synchro Wind Pegasus. This deals with spell and traps up to the in the same way as Light Dragon does, and also it can spin a card your opponent controls back into the deck by banishing itself from field or graveyard. If one of your other Atignista monsters leaves the field. Then on to the non-AI link monsters. We're playing a Cyburst Wicked. This searches out your tuners, and it can also help you combo without your field spell. Update Jammer and Transcode Talker package in case you can't go for those elusive AI plays and want to finish your opponent off like that. One Avramax because it's a Cyburst, and ideally probably the best link for Cyburst monster in the game. It's incredibly easy to go into in this deck as well. 1-0 Boros. This card going first can blow you out, can blow out your opponent completely. And Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid, because this card can amount some negates if you make full combo. But again, if you don't want to get Nibiru'd, you probably want to go into a different option there. But anyway, guys, that has been my AI deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. It's an incredibly fun deck to play. I really recommend it if you want a fun, easy to establish strategy. The only problem with it at the moment is it's incredibly hard to build a deck around without the right support cards, without the right draw cards, and but I think it's a lot of fun. But I'd play this deck as a more casual thing for the time being. I am looking to bring this deck to a tournament at some point in the future to just see how well it does. But I think with the new Master Rule changes coming around, it's just going to be absolutely ridiculous. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Again, play cards like Called by the Grave. Really help. They really help you go let your plays go through. It's up to personal preference at the moment. This is just a rough guideline. But yeah, I'd like to know what you think. And that is Big Al from Exiles signing out. See ya.